This week on the Spotlight, no, it's not late night's Craig Ferguson. It's Randy Whitman, coach of Washington. And there's a reason he's first. Taj Gibson, not too happy with the first two games. Manager Robin Ventura talks White Sox baseball. That's what he does best. And then we go into the locker room. Jordan Danks, back up from the minors, starting to hit the ball. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, this is the 25th year of the Lansing Floral Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. You've got to get to Calabria Imports. That's where I go for Italian food, deli food. Mention this TV ad and get 10% off. Catering and sandwiches. It's at 1905 West 103rd Street. They have great stuff, and you should get it at Calabria Imports. Wax on, wax off. Great salon and spa. Haircuts for men, women, head to toe, nails. 312-226-1473. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. The T-Wax Company does real estate investments. They want you to buy Chicagoland properties, providing profit opportunities since 1985. Call my friend Mr. Thomas at 773-456-3057. Make some money. Call 773-456-3057. Mr. C's Midway Bar. Open till 2 a.m. every day. Best Bloody Marys. For 65 years, they've had great neighborhood prices. Easy to reach at 4654 West 63rd Street, right over by Cicero Avenue. I've been there. You'll like it. Mr. C's Midway Bar. Lisa Davis Insurance and Tax Services at 107th and Western specializes in rollovers, tax recovery, tax resolution. They have insurance, auto, home, life, and business. You can call them at 773-873-8977. Lisa Davis for all your financial services. Amelia's Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner daily. Private parties and catering. A unique mixture of fine dining and Mexican specialties created by the great chef Eusebio Garcia. Easy to reach at 46th and Halsted. Emilio's Bar and Grill has great stuff. I highly recommend it. Emilio's Bar and Grill, 46th and Halsted. Welcome to another edition of the Spotlight, and I'm sad to say, and somewhat shocked, that the Bulls have been knocked off in their first 2 playoff home games and are in serious trouble. The second game, the one I just witnessed, was the overtime loss that featured Kirk Heinrich missing some super critical late free throws, and the statistics, I've pored over them time and again, and the statistics don't tell the true story of this game, which was really, sadly, that the Bulls, the ultimate hustle team, in effect, at times were out-hustled and certainly out-physicaled by Washington, a team that doesn't really have much of a reputation, let alone one for being tough defensively or particularly physical and bruising. But as we learn, their coach, Randy Whitman, has some history with defense. Let's go to that now. The Bulls have had a reputation for defensive intensity and hustle plays the last couple of years, but not only did you seem to match them in that, but it seemed like you won almost every loose ball.
Well, we've been building, okay? Last 2 years, we've been in a lot of top 10 in a lot of defensive categories. This team's knows, I think, and has the belief now you have to have to win game. I'm an old school coach. I come from Bobby Knight. You had to play defense, and I still think defense wins at this stage of time here. And I've got our guys from last year, I think, really bought into that and is carried forth, this year. So I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish the last couple of years with our defensive statistics. It's still got a long ways to go, but we're heading in that direction.
Randy, you talked before the game about not being satisfied, being up 1-0. How gratifying was it to see the way they fought back down 10 in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, and it wasn't so much that. That's going to happen. Like we said, that was they're going to make a run. We talk about that before the game. We're not going to come out here and it's going to be easy. We might come out and play great at the first, and they're at some point going to make a run. And what are we going to do? We're going to withstand it. All right, we're going to splinter, or we're going to stay together and keep fighting. And it was the same in game one. We got down 13. And but I thought really the key for us in both these first two wins is the way we came out in the first quarter. It just, we were into the game. And when we do that, we always give ourselves a chance. And I wanted them to be greedy. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed now. We got 2 wins. You got to give 4. You got to give 4. And nothing's guaranteed from here on out. We've got to continue to understand why we won these games, how we went about doing them, and you know what? Game 3, we got to play harder and with more intensity.
Randy, last play, regulation, Beal's look in the corner. Was that play pretty much drawn up?
Well, it's pretty much
like
playing, he and Nene,
yeah,
a 2-man game, and they were going to play off of it. If he got double, we're going to obviously, get the ball back to Nene. But I had no problem with that shot. The way he was playing. So I had nothing. He wanted to be aggressive, all right, and went after it, and I love that.
Coach, did you, obviously you're optimistic. Did you realistically think that you'd come in here to the lower-ranked team and win both these games?
I think we've proven
court?
Throughout the year with our road record this year being, I think, tied for second in the East for most road wins, and who we've beaten on the road, that, if we play the way we're capable of playing, that we can win on the road. All right, and these guys believe that, but we have to understand why we won and continue to build off that. It's not easy. That was another grinded out game. It was physical warfare out there, of bodies banging and diving on the floor. That's playoff basketball, and we've been lucky enough to come out on top the first 2.
Coach, can you talk about Joakim Noah and what's been your
Well, I knew he was
strategy
going
with
to
him?
bounce back. Gosh, we had to stand out there and watch the trophy presentation. I was call Adam Silver and see if we can sit in the locker room next time. But no, it's great. It was well deserved. But that's what he's done all year for this team. He's been a catalyst for this team. And I knew that we were going to have our hands full with him, and then on top of it, getting Defensive Player of the Year, was an added bonus for him, I'm sure.
I know you briefly touched on Booker, but last 10 minutes, 28 minutes overall, what did you see from him?
Just defensive effort. He was battling with Gibson, down on the boards. That's what it basically boiled down to. Rebounding. I thought he defended him in the post, fought him in the post. And he came up with a big block down the stretch there. So it was just his grittiness, toughness that he gave us. That's what I enjoyed.
Randy, it's been 6 years since Wizards fans have seen a home playoff game. What type of atmosphere will you be expecting?
Boy, I hope it's jumping. It's been a long time. You're right. Happy for the city, but more importantly, I'm happy for our guys. To be able to now see what it's like to come in here.
Since 1967, El Jardín has been serving the finest Mexican food. Before, after, or during ball games, located conveniently just 3 blocks south of Wrigley Field, 3335 North Clark. Whether there's a game or not, you still get hungry, and El Jardín has great service, great food, and great drinks. I've enjoyed every meal I've had there, and you will too. So get to El Jardín for great Mexican food at 3335 North Clark Street in Chicago. You'll be glad you did. you've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. You've got to get to the Cove. Benkowski Trivia there Wednesday, April 23rd, and again on May 7th at 8 p.m. Great people, a great game. Easy to reach at 1750 East 55th Street, right by the lake. So go to the Cove for my trivia game, April 23rd and May 7th. You will have a good time. Cornelio's Mobile Auto Glass. They come to you. You call them at 773-908-6081. Lowest prices, new and used. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They'll do your windshield, back window, or sides. They did a great job for me. They'll do a great job for you, and you'll be amazed at how quickly they come in and finish it up. Cornelio's Mobile Auto Glass. For a great meal, get to Amelia's Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner daily, private parties and catering, a unique mixture of fine dining and Mexican specialties brought to you by the great chef Eusebio Garcia. They're at 46th and Halsted. I've had great meals there, and you will too. Amelia's Bar and Grill, 46th and Halsted. We're back in the spotlight. We're talking Bulls basketball. And Coach Tibbs, virtually despondent after the second loss. He seemed almost shell-shocked at the result of some of the offensive failures on his team. To some degree, poor decision-making on offense, a lot of missed shots down the stretch, and that horrific Kirk Heinrich free throw sequence that spelled disaster and doom. And, of course, these are the people that have played their guts out for him all season long, so it's very hard for him to rip them. So he just kind of bites his tongue and tries to get out of the press session. We'll show you a little bit of that.
Coach, down the stretch, you guys suffered a pretty long drought at the end of the fourth and into the overtime. What did you see? How much of it was their defense, and what did you see from your offense in that stretch?
Yeah, hard fought. Oftentimes it comes down to scramble plays. They got to loose balls that resulted in some open threes, and we didn't. So, and we dug ourselves a big hole early. Expended a lot of energy to get out of that hole. Came up short.
Tom, specifically in overtime, what did you see with the offensive execution?
Well, you have to look at what the shots you can get. You're making the right plays. Are we screening well? I thought we had some good looks. Got to do better.
Tom, how did they shut down, kind of take away DJ in the last probably 12, 13 minutes? Seemed like you couldn't get anything.
Well, the fourth quarter and the overtime are going to be different. The intensity of the game changes during that time. You got to be ready to respond. You got to screen better. Got to make quick decisions. They put a Reese on them. He did a good job, more size. And we got to make plays.
What can you do to fix the fourth quarter offense? That's 2 games in a row where you struggled there.
Yeah, it's going to come down to we had the lead in both fourth quarters. We didn't close it out. In the playoffs, you got to play for 48 minutes.
Tom, did you feel you didn't close it out because of the way you played defense, or on the offensive side?
You have to play both sides of the ball.
Did you feel that what did you see in the 8-minute stretch? I think where you guys had 1 field goal.
Yeah, same thing. If you have to have balance, we got to be inside out. It's a make or miss league. DJ's made a lot of big shots for us. Taj has made a lot of big shots for us. Joakim has. We had some costly turnovers late. So we have to correct that.
There's a lot of banging bodies, a lot of contact, a lot of stuff seemingly uncalled. Do the Bulls have trouble with that kind of game? you and some of your teammates looked disturbed about the way the game was going in that regard.
I don't think. Have you watched us play all year? All year. All right, that answers your question. Everybody knows that we're a rugged team. We don't shy away from contact. It's like the game was kind of up and down. It'll be physical one minute, and then it'll be not physical another minute, and the game kind of gets altered, I guess. And it was a couple tough plays. We didn't shy away from anything. We felt good in the fourth. We had a solid lead coming back big. The way we started the game, they just jumped on us. So it's up and down. It's playoffs. It's a 12-round fight. Nobody's going to get knocked out right away. Players going to have a lot of emotions in the game. But I'm not going to say we're never going to shy away from the physicality of the game. That was a crazy question.
Taj, what aren't you guys doing at the end of games to get offense? I mean, what are you guys lacking?
I don't know. I just guess. I think that sometimes we kind of rush. Majority of the times we take good looks and it kind of comes up short, and it's going to happen that way.
With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Alton, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and a fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. And now video gaming is available at Red Shoes from open till close. And don't forget, the Illinois Lottery, too. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. Little Frank's Pizzeria and Bar. Easy to reach, 6353 West 79th Street. On Thursdays, $1.50 Miller and Old Style. Trivia alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. They have $15 large pizza and pitcher all day, every day. Little Frank's on 79th. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie does tune-ups, transmission, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and emission system repair. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they've done a great job for me. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie. We're back on the spotlight. One of the things that I watch for in analyzing a team in spring training is you look at competition for jobs, who's going to make the team, who's going to be sent down. And a guy who really, by the numbers, shouldn't have been sent down was Jordan Danks. He had a really good spring and was making the plays in the field as well. Maybe his strength, a fine and versatile outfielder who can play any of the 3 positions. But he did go down to the minor leagues. But when the injury occurred to Avisail Garcia, they had to fill that roster spot, and Jordan Danks was called up. Now, it might not immediately mean playing time for him. It'd still be spot duty, with probably some defensive fill-ins in the outfield, maybe a spot start against a tough right-handed pitcher, maybe some pinch hitting duty or pinch running, but he's aware of that. And he's ready to jump in at a moment's notice and explains that. And as you can see by his smile, he's glad to be back in the major leagues. Many of us, it was one of the head scratchers, watching the progress in spring training and seeing some really nice numbers being put up. I couldn't get my head around, why you didn't stay, but I guess the thinking is you needed bats.
Not discouraged about it at all. It was nice to know that it was because it was a numbers issue. It wasn't so much performance, and so I had felt comfortable at the plate towards the end of the season last year, and kind of took that into spring, and it was still working for me. So went out, had a great spring, made the decision a little bit harder for him, but ultimately, I walked away from spring feeling pretty good.
This team's off to a pretty hot offensive start.
And I guess, not to be trite, but it starts at the top with Adam Eaton. And, there's some nice run production and things going on.
I mean, definitely. I said it the other day, when Alexi hit the walk-off home run, we got enough guys in this team that can mash. So, just getting on base, good things are going to happen for sure.
It's an interesting, and I know it's way early, but a switch from the way last year kind of wound down, where, the pitching was pretty solid, and it just seemed like there was a lot of missed offensive opportunities. The team has done quite a changeover.
For sure, going back to yesterday's game also again, but when we got behind last year, a lot of times it was we were beaten and we kind of just threw in the towel. But even when we were down by a run in the ninth inning, we talked about Eaton, and he was saying that there's a reason we play 9 innings. So we went out there and ended up getting on base, and then like I said earlier, we got enough guys that can mash. Alexi came up and got the job done. So it's definitely a different team, and it should be interesting this year how it all pans out.
Well, I know Robin, in some of his early comments, I think maybe even as far back as Sox Fest, was lauding the fact that you have more balanced lefty-righty, and he can do left-handed lineups, when you're, facing that tough right-handed pitcher, and you come into play there, and, and also late-inning matchups. So, it's one of those things where you got to be ready at any moment.
Yeah, I said it as soon as I got back up here that, I've been asked a lot if they've told me what my role is going to be, and the answer is no, but I, obviously just glad to be back and happy to play any role. I've always said in the past that I would pitch as long as it kept me in the big leagues, so, again, happy to be here.
Well, your brother, of course, may have a few things to teach you about that. I know that, this past offseason might have been different for you. I know that down in Austin, Texas, you do a lot of one-on-one training, but was he spending a lot of time in Nashville lately?
Yeah, usually in past off seasons, we'd, when he was ready to start throwing again, I'd stand in and get to see, one of the better lefties in the game, and this was kind of a busy off season with him getting married, and they bought a house up in Nashville.
That's John Dank's wife, country singer Ashley Monroe.
I eat on the pasta twice.
Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria at Grand and Racine is the place to go before United Center Pavilion, Bulls, Hawks, Cubs, and Sox too. Dine in or carry out with great family recipes, including homemade pastas, steaks, seafood, a great fun bar area. Meet people, have a tremendous time. At Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria, Grand and Racine, you'll find a great variety of foods for you to enjoy at Salerno's. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie is great. Tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. They're quick, and they don't charge an arm and a leg. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair, 108th and Kedzie. You've got to get to Shelton Fireworks, the world's largest warehouse, off Interstate 94, exit 22B in Porter, Indiana. Row after row of the best fireworks anywhere, from the little ones to the grand finales that'll end your show. Birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, in addition to the 4th of July. Just get over there to Shelton Fireworks now. Then you can reload by the time summer comes. Shelton Fireworks, I-94, exit 22B. Reggie's is a great place with tons of music, interesting people and staff, great food and drink at 21st and State. And amongst the cool things they have, Benkowski Trivia. All shows are now Monday at 6 p.m. Reggie's, 21st and State, a fun place. Come play in the area's classiest billiard center, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet Avenue in Munster, 2 blocks south of 8094. Selling the most famous names of pool tables and billiard equipment, specializing in table recovery and moving of tables. A complete pro shop with the most brand names of cues and cases. Celebrating over 20 years, excellence, top billiard tables, the place where the action is, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet in Munster. We're back on the spotlight. It's time to talk Robin Ventura. And like I said, it's been pretty cold and certain days at the ballpark. You deal with it. They deal with it. We don't have to deal with it very much. They have to have the ringing in the bats. The players do. The manager, well,
they're well insulated in terms of their fine, up to the minute, classy clothing that they wear. But beyond that, it's the mind game of trying to figure out not only a lineup, but the structure of the pitching, particularly the back end of the bullpen.
Difference in Alexi? Is it his approach? Is it
some of it? I mean, there's some of it you can't explain just because he swings at a lot of pitches, but he feels good. He's seeing the ball well. He's getting it. You'd like it to be a little bit more in the zone, but he's a very aggressive hitter. But what he does do is he puts it on the barrel. He's been hitting it the other way, pulling it. So there's really not a pattern yet of exactly where he's hitting it. He's putting it on the barrel, and he's doing a good job of doing it.
Robin, you guys are obviously well aware of what Jay can do on the mound, and he's pretty familiar with most of the guys in the lineup. Is there any advantage either way?
There's probably some advantage that he has with some of our guys, but with the new guys, it's different. I think he's probably also going to see some different at-bats out of guys that he's used to seeing some other ways. So I think there's probably been subtle changes that have happened for guys that he might not be used to seeing, but that's just part of it. It's part of adjustments, and he's always been a guy to make adjustments, so we're going to have to adjust with him.
Is Adam Dunn one of those guys that you're talking about? He's changed a little bit. He went to left field a bunch of times recently.
I don't know if he has, but we do have enough guys that are making adjustments, extending innings and things like that. That certain counts we're swinging in that guys aren't doing that right now.
Is it like it all came together at once, or is this something that you've preached from day one in spring training?
Well, it's something that we all want to do, but they're the ones that it's happened with, and you can say as much as you want, but until it actually happens and you do it over and over again, they don't get the feeling of it. So they're the ones that have done this and have that feeling, and you go from there. And as much as you can tell them until they feel it, and you come back and win again, come from behind, that's when you get the feeling of being able to do it. Because if you could just say it, the Yankees would win every year because everybody says they win all the time.
Can you talk about Jackie Robinson Day and the importance to baseball?
It's important. I think not just baseball, but in life. I mean, I think it changed a lot of things in America that I think baseball should be proud of that.
Does the diversity in your clubhouse kind of speak to the social change that helps bring around?
Yeah, there's enough of it. I think even looking throughout the league, it's always been there, but from when I played. But you start looking what's in that clubhouse. I think you look around the league of not only African American kids, but people from all over the world are in clubhouses. So the diversity is something that he brought it on.
Have you spoken to Avi since his surgery, or have you got any kind of report?
It went well. We do know that. I haven't talked to him yet, but he's resting right now.
The Lansing Floral Shop. Call for your flowers at 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound, saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing. Call 708-396-1010.